Hey, Shalom, welcome to Bakar Makapashan, James London, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Bakar Kodash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom out there to the hope for that person, truth, and all sincerity. Back again with another video. I'm going to entitle this one A New Axis of Evil. And this is off the back of certain, alliances that are, that have been taking place recently, and, deals that are being done concerning, Saudi Arabia, China, Iran and Russia. What else we got here? Certain nations wanting to join the BRICS. And really that's all coming up against, America and their hegemony in the earth. All right, so we know the West don't like that. West don't like things like that, right? And made me think about, World War II and what they called the axis of power, okay, which was kind of like reused in this way here, axis of evil. Okay, I'm gonna read a little bit of this just to explain it, right? So it says axis of evil. It says the phrase axis of evil was first used by US President George W. Bush, the junior one, right? And originally referred to Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. It was used in Bush's State of the Union address on January 29, 2002, less than 5 months after the 9/11 attacks, and often repeated throughout his presidency. He used it to describe foreign governments that during his administration allegedly sponsored terrorism and sought weapons of mass destruction. And we all know how that turned out. Iraq got messed up and nothing was found. All right. So the notion of the axis, or such an axis, was used to pinpoint these common enemies of the United States and to rally American populists in support of the war on terror. Right. Now, in this current time right now, we know, of course, America is gonna posture itself as the good guy and all of this, them and the Western allies and whatever. But they're gonna be increasingly seeing these other nations as enemies, man, that are aligned together, right? And that's gonna become like the new axis of evil, the axis of power, where they're gonna be just, considered enemies, man. Okay, set out to come against each other. Just like Iraq, North Korea, and Iran was, back in this time. But I ain't gonna bother with that part. It says the term axis of evil itself a portmanteau of the axis of powers of World War II, Germany, Italy, and Japan, and the Cold War era evil empire, the Soviet Union as described by Ronald Reagan. And it's weird, it's the same kind of players involved. Russia, Iran. Okay, might want to throw North Korea in there, right? They're a bit of a wild card out there, but they're gonna sort of position these other nations as legit enemies. Okay, that they're coming against, right? Because they're taking away American hegemony in the earth, man. All right, so just to come here in the axis of powers here, where it was originally used. So the axis of powers, originally called the Rome-Berlin Axis, was a military coalition that initiated World War II and fought against the Allies. See, depending on what side of the history you end up falling on, man. But the good guys are obviously Britain, America, and blah 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 blah, right? And the bad guys are Nazi Germany, Italy, and Japan. Right, it says its principal members were Nazi Germany, the Kingdom of Italy, and the Empire of Japan. The Axis were united in their opposition to the Allies, okay, Britain and Europe, okay, America, but otherwise lacked comparable coordination and ideological cohesion, right? So these allies on the side of Russia, you got China, Iran, Syria, these Libya, places, things like this, right? They all differ. They haven't got one ideology. Let's be real. The West, Britain, Europe, America, they're more similar. All right, they're more cohesive in that respect, right? So again, it's an ally, built out of basically just to oppose the ruling power, okay, which is the Anglo-American Empire right now, right? Because the Anglo-American Empire has ruled the world with, you know, an iron fist, so to speak, right? Even though, they promote democracy and everything, supposedly, right? Really, they're controlling these nations, like forcing them to be a certain way, influencing them, and blowing you up if you don't agree. All right, but a new axis of power is being created, or axis of evil, right? That they're gonna kind of promote out there, right? Just to look at some of these articles. Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. Now, Saudi Arabia is meant to be an ally of America, but they're doing deals with China, okay, which is an enemy of the States, of the United States, right? So that's, some backstabbing going on, some treachery, right? They ain't gonna take kindly to, but these things are going on behind closed doors. All right, says talks between Riyadh and Beijing have accelerated as the Saudi unhappiness grows with Washington. They ain't enjoying their partnership anymore, man. All right. This is Russia's attack on Ukraine helped push the price of oil to over $100 a barrel for the first time since 2014. Here's how rising oil costs could further boost inflation costs. Okay, blah 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 blah. All right. Saudi Arabia is in active talks with Beijing to price some of its oil sales to China in yuan. People familiar with the matter said a move that would dent the US dollar's dominance of global petroleum market and mark another shift by the world's top crude exporter towards Asia. Okay, taking power away from America, away from Europe. Okay, these nations, Europe, America, they're in a real weak position at the moment, man, and and that position is going to become weaker. Okay, Russia cut one of the gas lines to Europe, or just gonna do it tomorrow. They're gonna be in a weak position, man. Okay, and all these other nations are joining Russia and China because it's sitting in a better footing than Europe and America, man. All right. We've got the Iran-Russia oil deal. Says Russia's new gas deals with Iran are a threat to the West. Why? Because it's taking power away from them. It's empowering these other nations. Alright, let's just see what it says. Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Tehran last week for the second time since he ordered the invasion of Ukraine on 24 February. Just before his arrival, Russia's state gas giant Gazprom signed a US $40 billion memorandum of understanding with the National Iranian Oil Company that is part of a wide-ranging agenda of increased cooperation between Russia and Iran. Okay, they've been getting closer and closer, man, doing more and more deals, right? It builds upon ideas discussed in January between Putin and Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, and the visit early in June of Russian Deputy Prime Minister Alexander Novak, both analysed in full by oilprice.com, and is crucial to the current global gas crisis. All right, so these nations, they're putting themselves in stronger positions while the West are being put in a weaker position. All right, so and then you got these nations wanting to join the BRICS nations, man. They don't want to, deal with the West. They want to come up with the up and coming economies of the world, and Russia's a part of them, right? And just a quick glance here. Iran wanting to join, obviously. Egypt. Let's see that. Egypt and Turkey, right? So here we go. Following Russia's announcement of Iran and Argentina's BRICS membership bids, the alliance president reveals that Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt have the same plans. Okay, these men are growing in strength, growing in alliances. Okay, but like I said, the West ain't. Okay, they're becoming weaker. All right. Momentum is definitely with these nations here, right? But they're going to be deemed the axis of evil or the new threat to the world and the threat to America, a threat to the West, and blah 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 blah. All right, that they have to be stopped, and they're gonna fight a whole world war over it. For that power, for that control. All right, but that's that's what these guys do. All right, they need an excuse for this war. Okay. So I just want to get some scriptures. We start off here in Jeremiah 49 verse 14. It says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. Right, the Lord is gathering these different nations, grouping them up, making these alliances, right, to come up against her. Who's that? Babylon, okay, i.e. America, or aka America, right? America and their allies, okay, who was the beast, Europe, the EU, right? So the Lord is gathering these nations together to fight. All right. Verse 15 says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Right? These nations despise America. Even your own allies despise America. Right? They're allies, so they're going to fight. But, the world don't look at America like, oh, yeah, America's so great now. So righteous and beneficial to the earth. No, these people that have been doing business with you, man, they're kind of fed up with your arrogancy, man, your pride. How you go around treating everybody, right? Taking a piss, wielding that sword around, threatening people, sanctioning people. But they're tired of it. All right, so you're greatly despised among the heathen. Okay, and it reiterates the same thing in Obadiah, man, showing you that Babylon, Edom, the same, right? So the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Right? So these Edomites, we know they're the ones in charge, they're the ones in rulership. Okay, Babylon is their golden city, right? Who they use to control the other nations of the earth, right? It's the whore that sitteth upon many waters, right? So they out here controlling, oppressing all these other nations. Right, so we know this to be the case. All right, but they are despised. Right, so behold, verse 2: I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Okay, and that's why these other nations are making all these different types of alliances to make themselves stronger, man. They don't want to do business with you, man. Yeah, they don't want to have to deal with you, arrogant Fs. It's from Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? They know you're nothing but a bunch of thieves, man. You Edomites, you Americans, you British, you're nothing but a bunch of thieves, man. Okay, bloodthirsty thieves, stealing everybody's land, stealing everybody's resources, exploiting people. They know this, man. They know your history. All right, and they don't really like you. Okay, but you're making the money, so for the sake of making money, these guys will do the deals with you, man. But like I said, they don't like dealing with you, man. Right? It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Right? Things that don't belong to you. Right? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay, which is debt. That clay here it means debt, and we know how indebted America is, man. Even China holding a lot of your debt. I thought I had it here, but I guess not. China holding a lot of debt, which is fell below 1 trillion. The Chinese people don't want to hold your debt no more, man. Okay, ain't an asset to have no more. All right. Anyway, so shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee? Right. So they say they're looking to strengthen themselves, man, to war against you, man. It's like it says awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be bruised unto them. Right? They're gonna spoil you, man. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, right? You Edomites, you've gone around taking anything that you wanted, right? Every nation you've gone around and just took what you wanted, man. treated the people how you wanted to treat them. Right? So because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Okay, now it's gonna be your turn. You know, these nations are gonna mess you up, man. When they come to war with you, man, they're gonna mess you up. I mean, yeah, you're gonna mess some of them up too, but America's gonna take some heavy losses, man. And eventually America's gonna be destroyed as a result, you know? So you're gonna take a big loss. Alright? It says, the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Alright, it says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house. Okay, this is America, you Edomites, right? You know, all you nations, you know, Edomite nations, right? It says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high. Okay, the only reason why you're on top, man, because you've done nothing but wickedness to be there. Alright? It says, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Alright, which you ain't gonna be delivered. Alright, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Okay, that is Esau's history, so-called white people's history. That is what you've done all the way through it. Alright? In Ezekiel 38 verse 2, so son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Okay, Gog and Magog represent Russia in this time, right? And say, thus says the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. Right, so it's not like the Most High is taking Russia's side or nothing, but the Most High are going to use Russia and the influence it has over their allies to fight this war, right? Says, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with helmet and with shield and helmet. Right, so Russia's gonna have its allies, man. Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, Libya. Right, Goma and all these bands, the House of Togomar of the North Quarters. Okay, I believe that's in the region of Turkey, right? And we just see how Turkey want to join, considering joining the BRICS nations, right? So they're going to be aligned, right? Goma and all these bands, the House of Togomar of the North Quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Many people, many different nations, man. That's what Russia's amassing right now. Them in China, right? Iran, Syria, you know, all of these guys, they all wanting to side themselves with Russia and China. Okay, they don't want to deal with the West no more. They're pricks, right? They deal with them like pricks. So, you know, they ain't gonna deal with America, man. They ain't gonna. But look, Russia and China holding all the cards right now. Russia got the whole energy in Europe locked down right now, you know, and now there's an energy problem in the world, you know. So these nations are gonna want to secure some type of energy, whether it's gas, oil, you know, fuel, whatever whatever it is, grain, whatever, you know, they're gonna want assurances, man. So they're gonna align themselves with Russia because the West ain't got shit to offer really, or not that they're willing to do deals with, you know. So they're gonna go to Russia and China to do those deals, you know. This is be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right. So that's, you know, Russia's been playing that role for a while now, you know, providing these weaker nations with technology to defend themselves against the West and, you know, against America and that. All right. It's from Jeremiah 50 verse 22. So the sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? All right, and this is what only these people are going to say once you're destroyed, because you've been nothing but an oppressive force in the earth, right? But you're going to be destroyed. Okay, they're going to have some sort of victory over you. Okay, even though, you know, there is no victory to have for these nations really, because Yahweh Shai is the true victor. Israel is the true victor. All you nations are going to get jacked up, but, you know, you're going to look at your, you know, these Edomites like, man, you was riding on top, man. Look at you now. You know, look at you now. You're damn bad with the rest of us. You know. says said I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, thou was not aware. You thought, easy Edomites thinking that they're fulfilling their own agendas, man. Okay, they don't understand the Most High is setting them up. Okay, and they're gonna be caught in that snare. Right, so thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord. Right, and that's it. That's the main point. That's why, you're gonna fall, because you strived against the Lord. You strove against His people. All right. So the Lord have opened His army, and have brought forth the weapons of His indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. And this is why the Most High bringing out those nuclear missiles, man. Okay, to destroy the land. So we're gonna come here. This is Joel 3:9. We're gonna close up with this. So proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, and let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I am strong. Right, they're strong because they're a collective now. They're not individuals. They're joined unto stronger nations, and together they're stronger. And they're sharing technology, they're sharing resources. Okay, they're not weak anymore, man. They're not as vulnerable anymore. Okay, because America's like I said, been around bullying everybody. So they're not as vulnerable anymore. Right, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Right, the Lord, like I said, is collecting the nations together, man. And eventually, when this war kicks off, this World War III kicks off, man, it's gonna be there. It's gonna be taking place down there in the Middle East, in the valley of Jehoshaphat. All right. So for put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. All right, so it's about to go down, man. It just, the Lord's just assembling the nation, man. Making these agreements and these treaties and whatever. And eventually, when the war comes, man, everyone's going to be on their respective side, right? And you're gonna have turncoats. You're gonna have people flipping back and forth between different sides, because happened in World War II and that, right? So it's bound to happen. But you're gonna find a lot of sides are gonna flee the West and America. They're gonna go over to Russia, man, because they don't perceive that they will win. And it's gonna go down like that. But anyway, like you say, you're seeing the unions being created and whatever. Okay, it's all part of prophecy, man. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Lord, the witness is edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.